drive-through home.
It's black now. Both,
Oh, it's all empty. Oh, okay. Of course. Here. Dry one. They're not cold, but.
I'm rowdy. They don't miss me.
I thought it was good for the kids. I didn't grab none.
Oh, no. Those kids, they're picky. You don't want a butterscotch lollipop? Bring it to mama.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming out to our Memorial Day ceremony and parade. So far, we've got some very great weather, especially considering what was here just yesterday. Thank you to Officer Gregory Schnell for that rousing rendition of To the Colors. And I'd like to thank and recognize some of the people who've made this ceremony possible. Our military veterans, of course, the Princeton High School band and cheerleaders. Thanks to those from the Princeton schools who came out today, our new superintendent, Dr. Mary Phillips, and our board president, John Simons, who also happens to be a Glendale resident. Thanks to Sweeney Automotive and Cary Automotive for donating the cars for the parade, and friends and neighbors who also donated cars. Thank you to our Glendale resident volunteers, organizations including the library, the Glendale Youth Sports, Glendale Lyceum, the Garden Clubs, Monday Class, and other organizations, as well as the speakers you will hear from this morning. Thanks to the Glendale Police Department and Chief Keast, and thanks to the Glendale Fire Department and Chief Lerman. The fire department has bottled water across the street for anybody that needs any water. And thanks to Christ Church right next door for providing some bottled water and treats for our ceremony today. I'd like to especially thank our committee. Hildy Bond. Did you break it? Okay, we're ready. Hildy. I'll wait till it gets done clicking. All right, Hildy Bonhaus, Ann Foster, Linda D'Amato for organizing, coordinating the parade and ceremony, and one very special thank you, and I hope I'm not too preliminary on this, but it needs to be said. Lisa Spalding is a lifelong resident of Glendale. Her mother, Peg, was one of the grand ladies of Glendale, raised her family here. I see her children here today. She passed this morning. So I want to ask everyone for a moment of silence to remember Peg. I think she brought us this good weather. Thank you, everyone. May she rest in peace. So Memorial Day, initially known as Decoration Day, was first practiced during and soon after the Civil War. Graves of soldiers were decorated, typically with flowers, to honor their service. Over the years, the day became recognized as a national holiday and was formally named Memorial Day, a day to remember all military veterans of the United States Armed Forces who gave their lives in service to this country, going back to the Revolutionary War. Today, our village joins the rest of our nation to honor and remember those brave and dedicated fallen veterans. It is said that there is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Well, these veterans, they laid down their lives for their country and their fellow citizens. We should also note that the military veterans, including those here with us today, knowingly and willingly put their lives at risk for the benefit of citizens of their time and for all of us here today, for a cause, for an ideal of a nation based on liberty, freedom, and self-governance. We all need to be cognizant of these ideals to understand and protect them for ourselves and for future generations. So we remember and honor these brave and selfless veterans who made the ultimate sacrifice for their country, and we honor the ideal, the cause, the nation for which they served. At this time, I'd like to introduce my daughter, Catherine Vessel, who will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare music was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of
At this point, I'd like to introduce Pastor Todd Leggett of the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church here in Glendale, who will lead us in prayer for Memorial Day.
Let us bow our heads. Precious and Heavenly Father, on this Memorial Day, we bow our hearts in solemn gratitude. We remember those we hold dear. Lord, we ask that you wrap your comforting arms around the families and loved ones of those who still bear the weight of this profound loss. Provide them with strength, peace, and solace in the midst of their grief. Protect those keep us ever mindful of the heavy cost of liberty. May we honor the legacy of our fallen heroes by living lives worthy of their sacrifice. In your Son, Jesus' name, we do pray. Amen.
This time, I would like to recognize this year's Grand Marshal, Mike Fassel, a Glendale resident. Yes, applause, please. A Glendale resident, Mike spent most of his childhood and adult life here. As a young man, he entered the Navy, serving 6 years, 2 years active duty on a Navy destroyer, and 4 years in the reserves. Many of us know Mike through his volunteer work here in the village. He continues to be active at the Glendale Presbyterian Church with a golf outing and the pancake breakfast, and at the Glendale Lyceum, where he's helped and led many renovation projects and a few beer drinking sessions, and is a very well-known thespian to most of us. Mike has also been an active participant in this Memorial Day ceremony for as long as many of us can remember. Mike's service to his country and involvement in our community as a resident and a volunteer has been exemplary, and Glendale has benefited from his care and concern for our village. So Mike, thank you from all of us for your service to Glendale. I'd like to now introduce the Harry Whiting Brown Scholarship and its presenter, Stephen Adiccio.
Morning, everyone. I have the honor today of announcing our scholarship winner for the Harry Whiting Brown Community Center Scholarship to Mia Baldridge for 2026.
So thank you and congratulations. Well-earned honor. And now to introduce the Memorial Day Essay Contest, and its winner is Dr. Jenny Kilgore. As part of our ceremony each year, students in grades 4 to 6 who attend school in Glendale or who live in Glendale have the opportunity to write an essay about what Memorial Day means to them. Here to present the winners of this year's contest, Dr. Jenny Kilgore, who was instrumental in starting this long-standing tradition.
Good morning. This annual contest has become an iconic part of our Memorial Day celebration, one that is eagerly anticipated by Glendale 4th, 5th, and 6th grade elementary students, providing them with an opportunity to pause and examine the importance of the lives and efforts of our American soldiers and the impact that these have had on the freedom and privilege that we enjoy every day. Many thanks to Ellen Bockensteady, who, Mike, organized the first of these, the 40th annual Glendale Memorial Day contest in 1986. For 26 years, Ellen encouraged young authors to submit entries and stood at this memorial as each year's winning essay was read. It's been my privilege to continue that tradition. The panel of judges deliberated to choose winning essays from all the wonderful student submissions. Papers recounted family traditions and shared acknowledgement and appreciation of the quality of life and the privileges that we, as Americans, enjoy because of the sacrifice of our fallen heroes. Each of the 3 winning authors receives a beautiful medal to commemorate the day, a book entitled The Poppy Lady by Moyna Bell Michael, her tribute to veterans given by the Glendale Monday class. 3 papers have been chosen this year, and the 3rd place winner is awarded to Parker Jeffries, a 4th grade scholar at Glendale Elementary. And this is yours. Second place is awarded to Jameson Leonard, a 5th grade scholar at Bethany Schools. The first place is awarded to Jason Guerrera, a 5th grade scholar at Glendale Elementary School. So please give your full attention to Jason, who is now going to read his essay entitled, What Memorial Day Means to Me. And these are yours. You want to read your paper?
Memorial Day is meant to be a day to mourn and honor members who died while in service for the U.S. Army. Many families of those who have died, who have had a family member who died while in service, go to that veteran's grave. Many families also attend parades and observe a national monument of remembrance. Some people also say it's the start of the summer, even though it's unofficial. Also, other countries have their own Memorial Day, including Remembrance Day in the UK on November 11th, Anzac Day in Australia and New Zealand on April 15th, and Volkstrauertag in Germany on Sunday, November 15th. But what does Memorial Day mean to me? For me, Memorial Day is usually a normal day. I typically wake up, eat breakfast, and here and there I think about what the day means. And I might have a conversation with a relative about the soldiers who've died. That's what many people do, and that's what I used to do also. But what do I do now? This year I'm going to take time out of my day to think and honor those who served and passed during battle, but I'm also going to remember people who have done something and would die for it. I'm going to do this year because my 5th grade teacher sadly passed away. She taught for 31 years and called her job her life. She enforced that education isn't always as important as grace and kindness, and she would have had everyone around her have a smile on their face. This is what Memorial Day means to me and my new Memorial Day plans.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you for all our honorees. I'd like to now introduce Hildy Bonhaus, who has a presentation on the poppies in Flanders Fields. Hildy will now explain the significance of the papier-mâché poppies you received today and their meaning to our fallen veterans.
The history of the Remembrance Poppy. Prior to the start of today's ceremony, the young people of our village distributed American Legion red poppies. I suspect that for many of you, it brought back an old memory of receiving a poppy and perhaps contributing to the American Legion or the veterans of foreign war. For our young people, this may be the first time that they have seen a crepe paper poppy. Where did this tradition begin? Red poppies were common in Flanders, a region of Belgium that saw fierce fighting during the First World War. The war caused the soil to become rich in lime, and the red poppies flourished in this environment. As a result, many World War I battlefields were covered with poppies. In May 1915, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, a Canadian surgeon and soldier, came upon a field of poppies after burying his friend who was killed the previous day. He was inspired to compose the poem, In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard among the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. The poem was first published in December 1915, and it quickly became the most famous and widely quoted poem of World War I, cementing the poppy as an enduring symbol of remembrance. Moina Bell Michael, a professor at the University of Georgia, was in Europe when World War I broke out. She assisted over 12,000 Americans, many of whom were tourists, to return home. And then she took a leave of absence and moved to New York to volunteer in the training headquarters for overseas YWCA workers. After the war was over, Michael returned to the University of Georgia and taught a class of disabled servicemen. Realizing the need to provide financial and occupational support, she pursued the idea of selling silk poppies as a means of raising funds to assist disabled veterans. In 1921, her efforts resulted in the poppy being adopted as a symbol of remembrance. Known as the Poppy Lady for her humanitarian efforts, Moina Michael's actions resulted in programs that distribute poppies that raise millions of dollars in donations each year. The winners of Glendale's annual essay contest each receive a book titled The Poppy Lady, Moina Bell Michael, and Her Tribute to Veterans by Barbara Elizabeth Walsh. Although the book is intended for a youthful audience, I highly recommend it for children of all ages. It is a story that should be remembered and shared, and the paintings in the book are both beautiful and meaningful. On Memorial Day, the poppy is an important way that we remember the soldiers that gave their life in service to our country, many of whom are buried in foreign soil.
Thank you, Hildy, for that touching tribute. Now I'd like to introduce our veteran speaker, Cartwright Hall. Each Memorial Day, we're honored to have a veteran or public servant deliver a keynote speech for our ceremony. This year, we're honored to have Cartwright speak. Major Cartwright Hall grew up on Willow Avenue right here in Glendale and is a fifth-generation member of the Glendale community. I see his proud family here today. He was commissioned in the United States Marine Corps in 2011 and served for 11 years on active duty as an aviation supply officer. supporting marine aviation operations and deployments throughout Asia and the Middle East. He continues to serve in the Marine Corps Reserves. He and his wife Elizabeth reside in Wyoming, Ohio, with their 5 children. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cartwright Hall, one of your own.
Good morning. Hey, first of all, I just want to thank Mayor Bessel and the village of Glendale here for giving me this opportunity. I have family members whose names are written on these walls. I remember as a kid watching my grandfather march as a veteran in this parade, so this is really special for me to be able to be here. It's an honor. On August 3rd, 2005, Marine and fellow Glendale resident Lance Corporal Christopher Dyer was killed in action outside of Haditha, Iraq, when the amphibious assault vehicle in which he was riding struck an improvised explosive device. He was 19 years old. And at the time I was 18 years old, I was a senior in high school. I was living right down the hill here on Willow Avenue, and I remember hearing news of his death. Shortly after the news of his passing spread, an impromptu candlelight vigil was held right down in the village square, where I remember attending with my dad, seeing the community gather there to remember and honor one of our own. There were prayers and there were stories. He had lived right across the tracks on Troy Avenue, a gifted student, competitor. I read that his father had stated that he joined the Marines because he wanted a challenge. He wanted to be one of the best. I remember hearing all of that and feeling a profound sense of sadness and loss, a heaviness that stuck with me. Now, I didn't know Christopher. We had never met, but his death impacted me. And it came at an important time in my life, one in which I was attempting to determine the future trajectory of my life, and ultimately Christopher's death, along with other influences, became part of the reason I chose to join the military and eventually earn the title of Marine. And now, as the mayor said, I'm on the other side of that military service, at least on the active duty side. And I can tell you, in all honesty, it was an incredible blessing. Yes, there were sacrifices, and yes, there was hardship, but what I received, friendships and opportunities and experiences, they far outweigh the costs of any difficulties, and the fruits of those experiences continue to blossom. But I think often of Christopher, a fellow Marine, and I think of his death in the Iraqi desert, far from home, far from his family, at just 19 years old. And I think of the thread that connects him and I. His death and his sacrifice inspired me to follow his path, but out of those similar decisions came 2 vastly different outcomes. I received a blessing, and his future ended in the Iraqi desert. And while that thread might be more easily defined between Christopher and I, it exists for all of us, and it's the reason that we stand here today to remember. The blessings of security and prosperity and liberty that we enjoy as Americans are not merely a result of policy decisions, economic models, or governing frameworks. They are paid for by the most treasured resource that this nation has to offer, the blood of its sons and daughters. So on this Memorial Day, we remember. We come together as a community to honor a debt that we can never fully repay. On the walls of this memorial are carved the names of Glendale's own. They walked these same streets. They were our neighbors. They were our friends. They were our fathers. They were our sons. They are the best that this country has to offer. Lives sacrificed on the altar of freedom. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. And on the 250th anniversary of this nation's founding, we must recognize a fundamental truth. We did not reach this milestone by chance. We reached it because for 2.5 centuries, brave men and women were willing to lay down their lives to protect this nation, its people, and the God-given freedoms upon which it was founded. The American Republic did not endure because history guaranteed it would. It endured because generation after generation answered the call to defend it. From the blood-soaked sands of Iwo Jima, to the frozen mountains of the Chosin Reservoir, to the jungles of Hue City, and to the dust of Fallujah, believing that this country was worth fighting for and, if necessary, worth dying for. Every liberty we enjoy today rests upon the sacrifice of those who carried the burden before us. May God bless the families who carry the weight of that sacrifice most deeply today. May God bless the village of Glendale, and may God bless our United States of America. Thank you.
Cartwright, thank you for your heartfelt comments. Your personal remembrance of Christopher Dyer, a member of our community who gave his life in service to our country, and of your own experience serving our country, helps us better understand and appreciate the dedication of those who serve in the military, and helps us appreciate more those who gave their lives and the sacrifice of their families and their communities. Thank you. And now, here to sing America the Beautiful, please join in, is Catherine Bessel.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you, Catherine. I'll wait till the bells are finished. Well, that could be a long wait, so we'll go on. Now for a very meaningful and solemn part of our ceremony. We will remember the Glendale residents who gave their lives in service to their country by reading aloud the names of those brave souls. This will be followed by a 21-gun salute and the playing of taps. Here to read their names is one of our veterans, Mike Fassel.
That's all right. You should sit. Good morning. It is my honor to present to you the names of the men from the village of Glendale who have given their lives while in the service of our country. Second Lieutenant Maurice Dorgan, 24, killed June 18, 1918 in France. He was returned home and is buried in Oak Hill Cemetery. Eric Sand, Sergeant Pilot, commissioned in the Royal Norwegian Air Force in Canada, April 1942. He was killed at the age of 23 on May 22nd, 1943. He was a fighter pilot and a Spitfire in the 2nd Norwegian Fighter Squadron in England and flew 30 combat missions. Ralph Harrison Osborne, 2nd Lieutenant in the service in June 1942, died at the age of 26 on April 2nd, 1943. Pilot, Army Air Force Corps, was reported missing after 7th mission over Germany. Subsequently, his death was confirmed, and posthumously, he was awarded the Air Medal for exceptionally meritorious achievement in aerial combat against the enemy. Charles Stedman Garber, Captain, Pilot, Air Transport Command, flying an unarmed in a C-47, was shot down by mistake by a British carrier-based plane between the Azores and Casablanca on March 25th, 1944, at the age of 26. Frederick A. Smith, Private First Class, joined the Marines September 10th, 1942. At the age of 20, he was killed in action on Peleliu Island, October 6, 1944. John D. Eggleston, Private First Class, entered service October 22nd, 1942. Army Infantry, killed in action at the age of 22 on December 6, 1944, in Germany on the first day of the Battle of the Bulge in Belgium. Leroy Warwick, Sergeant, entered service July 10th, 1943. Turret gunner on a bomber in the Army Air Corps in Europe, reported missing in action February 14th, 1945, of which confirmation of his death was received 6 months later. Arthur H. Kern, Corporal, entered the service June 23, 1943, stationed in France, and died as the result of an accident at the age of 32 on May 18, 1945. Edwin Lockett Appley, Private First Class, enlisted in the Marines December 12, 1943, was killed in action for the island of Okinawa at the age of 19 on June 20, 1945. Joseph Lloyd Hall, Soundman, 3rd Class, stationed on a Navy minesweeper, was killed by a direct hit from an enemy naval shell near Borneo, Indonesia, at the age of 19, June 21, 1945. Meredith Spears, after service in Australia, died in an Army hospital in March 1946 in Colorado after his return to the United States. Christopher J. Dyer, Lance Corporal, member of Lima Company, United States Marine Corps, was killed in action August 3rd, 2005 in Iraq at the age of 19.
Thank you, Cartwright Hall, Mike Fassold, and veterans, Officer Schnell, the Cincinnati River Rats who did a flyover for us. I know some people noticed there was not a missing man in this one, but they are so in demand that they are flying through many communities, they don't have time to pull that maneuver for us today. Right there. Thank you all for your profound gestures of respect honoring our fallen veterans. Thanks to all who participated in the parade and the ceremony, especially the speakers. Thanks again to everyone who helped make our parade and ceremony possible. We forgot Rochelle Dixon was part of this ceremony in putting it together along with Hildy Bonhaus, Ann Foster, Linda D'Amato, and especially Lisa Spalding, who is here despite her tremendous loss today. Thanks to all of you who came out to remember and pray for our veterans and who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country and to recognize their selfless service. We are all blessed to live in a beautiful community like Glendale in a free country, but we also know we live in an imperfect world. God gave us a free will, and we human beings are capable of making decisions, both good and bad. History has shown that some human beings are capable of terrible and evil acts. Corrupt and tyrannical regimes seek to conquer and control individuals and populations. And although conflict and war are awful things that most good people, all good people, try to avoid, in our imperfect world, good people must stand for what is right and just. Nature itself can be both beautiful and violent in its unrelenting pursuit of perfection. The heroes we remember today stood fast and they did not waver. Instead, they rose for what is good and just, for country, for family, and their brothers and sisters in arms. They fought to the end. They gave the full measure. Because of their brave and selfless acts, what they believed in still stands today, a living testament to their courage, their love for country and for their fellow citizens, their strong faith in God or that higher power that gives us all life, and their hope for the future. So today, this year, as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country, we'd like to do something a little different. So could the representative children come up and join me right here by the podium? And would Taylor Euland please accompany them up? So we celebrate our 250th anniversary of the United States of America. We recall those who have protected our country, starting with the American Revolution to present day. The veterans here represent the best of us, those who dedicated themselves to service of their country. They stand in witness to the soldiers who were lost, who didn't make it home. Their service helped ensure that this country would last for each succeeding generation, all the way to the children that stand here today and all the children of Glendale and this country. The children here represent our next generation who will benefit from these veterans and from the sacrifices they made through their long history of service, and will carry our nation forward into the future. These children have a small but meaningful gift for each of our veterans. Kids, would you please go up and join the veterans up on top of the memorial there, and then please stay there until the ceremony is complete. Each child carries for each of our veterans a flag representing service to our country, and a poppy representing the fallen who now rest in peace. They'll give one of those to each of our veterans. To the veterans, once again, thank you for your service to our country, members of a long line of soldiers who have safeguarded our nation for 250 years. To the children up top and the children all in the audience here, never take for granted the service of those who protected our country throughout its history and protect it still today. Because of the service of many who came before, including the service of those you stand with here today, you are blessed to live in a country based on liberty, freedom, and self-governance. You children represent our future of our country. We all look forward with hope and faith it will remain strong and thrive for another 250 years and more. So can we have a round of applause for our veterans and for our future? This concludes our ceremony today. We hope you and your families have a great Memorial Day. As you celebrate the day, please remember our fallen military veterans and their families and loved ones. May God bless them, and may they all, from the revolutionary times to present day, rest in peace. Thank you.